Hello everyone, welcome to Newsfighters. Joining me now is my old boss and host of Tonightly with Tom Ballard. Tom Ballard, how are you, Tom?
Hello, Dylan. Very well, thank you. Great to see you go on to bigger and better things. I'm proud of you, man. I always believed in you.
Thank you very much. How was your 2020? If we look back, this is the first episode of 2021. How was your 2020, Tom?
It was great. I don't really follow the news, so yeah, I just had a great time. Just hanging out with friends and family and eating bats and leaving the house on a regular basis. No, it was generally awful. I was going to move to the UK and become a big star over there and appear on their million panel shows and get a Netflix special and be the next Adam Hills. And so that's all off. Obviously, watching society collapse, watch Bernie Sanders lose, watch a deadly disease kill millions of people. It was bad. I did fall in love, though. I got a really hot boyfriend.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We spent a lot of time together, so that, it swings and roundabouts, I reckon. I reckon that probably evens out.
Now, were you locked down, or was because Melbourne? I don't even think you're allowed to have. You had to move in together, didn't you? If you wanted to hang out together, pretty much. Wasn't that the rule? No visitors.
There was a period where it wasn't. Yeah, you could. Where there was a fear that we wouldn't be able to leave the house to do that. But then they allowed exemptions for intimate partners.
Woohoo!
And we were pretty intimate.
Was that a conversation? Because I assume you're only allowed to have one, or is Dictator Dan open to polyamory with this?
Yeah, it's socialist Victoria, man. Yeah. We're all in a polycule. We're all genderqueer trans uni students fucking each other's brains out. It's great. Yes, we went back and forth towards each other's houses for quite a bit. It really amplified the fast-tracked the relationship very quickly, I guess, being locked down and going through a pandemic. I'd really recommend it to anybody out there.
Now, as someone who lived through the Melbourne lockdown, we've just had our own lockdown in Sydney, the Northern Beaches lockdown.
Did you?
No, I wasn't.
Was
in it.
Was it hard? How'd you go? Were you okay?
Well,
I was worried about you. All right.
People on the Northern Beaches were like, "Oh no, people don't come here. That would be terrible."
They probably love it. Yeah, they're like summer. A gated community. They fucking love it. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, Tony Abbott famously didn't want trains to go to the Northern Beaches. So like, everyone stay away.
Yes, he loves being in his car. Loves it. I have maintained that, coronavirus getting Peter Dutton, Jair Bolsonaro, Donald Trump, Boris Johnson, Elon Musk, Prince Charles, it's the most effective left-wing activist that we've had for a very long time. And getting the northern shore of Sydney, I mean, I think Comrade Corona knows what's up and it's picking its targets very well. So congrats.
And what have you been up to this year during the lockdown? I hear you've been doing a lot of writing. Are we going to have some projects flowering this year in 2021?
In theory, if I can finish this goddamn book, I had so much time, Dylan. I managed to get a book deal. I had literally nothing else to do in my life. Still managed to procrastinate and still desperately trying to meet this deadline to finish my book, which is about the year 2020, COVID, how millennials are screwed over in this country, my entire life, the past 40 years, the neoliberal turn, how capitalism is killing us, and how we all need to be socialists. So there's a lot to cover, and I'm really down to the wire. But hopefully that'll all be produced within the next couple of weeks.
Are you doing interviews for the book, or is it like Sign Language by Seinfeld? It's just a collection of your "What's the deal with" jokes.
I got that book. I was so disappointed. And he's just released a new one, isn't it? Which is the same shit, isn't it? Isn't it like his fucking set lists?
He just hit print on his routine, I think, yeah.
Come on, when are you going to make B-Movie 2, Jerry? We're all hanging out for it. His new book, I heard about it. It sounds bizarre. Anyway. It's all original stuff. I'm trying to sum up and explain my political education over the past 4 years, which really does involve some pretty deep diving research over, the Accord in the 1980s and Hex and superannuation and franking credits. I'm trying to write about all that shit and make it funny. But I'm also talking to lots of different people across the political spectrum and mainly focused on millennials and how young people have been consistently shafted particularly, it all comes back inevitably to the Howard years in that period over the turn of the millennium when, shit got real. And they really pulled up the ladder behind them, the old boomers. So,
how do you reckon? You probably get asked this a lot, but how do you reckon Tonightly would be covering the pandemic and God, even what happened in America this week? We'd have Greg as Mr. Oily, obviously. That would be he'd be our main character. He'd be in Washington with them.
I think Greg would do a good character of him, like dressed up as the Viking guy. I think he'd be very good.
Yes, yeah, of course.
Man, I hope we'd be better than Seth Meyers. I don't know if you saw Seth Meyers' monologue.
Oh, his little 7-minute one, yeah.
So they just said, we're not doing jokes, okay? This is such a serious, terrible situation that there is to be no jokes. I mean, the Seth Meyers video was literally labelled, Seth Meyers calls for Donald Trump to be removed. I just thought,
comedy.
Okay.
Tonightly couldn't get away with that.
Well, no, not on the ABC. I mean, I'm trying to think, when Eurydice Dixon died, we did make a point to make that very serious at that point, and there must have been one or two other instances where we recorded a serious message.
Well, my theory is Americans don't watch enough world news to know how normal this is. Like, they stormed the parliament in Hong Kong last year. This happens around the world all the time. America, welcome to the club.
Yes, and I know hypocrisy's dead and pointing it out is pointless, but like these fucking Republican figures who are like, this violence was terrible. So you supported the Iraq War. You killed hundreds of thousands of people. What are you talking about? You love violence. You just don't want it near you. Anyway. What do you think about Trump being banned from Twitter? I think it's stupid. I think it's,
really?
Or at least, well, it's funny, I guess. If it annoys him, then sure. But the idea that some people are presenting it as some incredible victory and that we've deplatformed the most powerful man in the world who has the nuclear codes, but him not having access to Twitter anymore means that it's like, yeah, man, this is it. Cop that, Donald Trump. I just think that's a little bit silly.
Well, personally, I think for everyone's mental health, it's a good thing. I think I'll...
But people love it. These same people who are like, he's gone, had been quote tweeting him for 4 years and doing screenshots. And people just constantly, like, you could not move but for Donald Trump tweets. And,
True.
I don't think it's unreasonable to think that when you have massive media companies with the power to take people off those platforms, because these platforms like Twitter, Facebook and Google particularly, they really are the public square now. It's not like they're private. People say they're private companies with terms of service. Like, well, they're not though, are they? They're where we all talk and debate, and putting tweets out there is kind of a freedom of speech issue, I think.
I know from a freedom of speech issue. Look, I can't analyze it objectively because I hate Trump and I'm glad he's off Twitter. So, so look, if
Mark fucking Ruffalo tweeted, ban Trump to save democracy. Okay, so in order to save democracy, Donald Trump had to be removed from Twitter. And I don't know. That just seems a bit much to me.
Oh, I mean, yeah. If it was Bernie Sanders saying "fight the power" or something, what if Bernie got banned? I would be like, this is a crime against freedom of speech. Because it's Trump, I'm like, good stuff. I'm sleeping tonight.
He's gone now.
And the year ahead, 2021, Australia Day is coming up. What's your opinion on the anthem change? They're getting rid of the word "young" and replacing it with the word "one." Now, is this young people being locked out of something else by boomers?
Yes, millennials denied a place in our treasured national anthem. What else will they take from us? Look, I just think it's a joke. I think it's extraordinary that from the Liberal Party, the party that hates all symbolic
culture war kind of stuff.
Culture war, Peter Dutton boycotts the apology to the stolen generation because it's symbolic and won't do anything. And now we're supposed to get excited about this when the same government has rejected the Uluru Statement from the Heart. My boyfriend is a First Nations guy. We thought it was a joke. We laughed about it. They're going ahead with Australia Day too. So. And just telling people, I think, through song that we are one and that we're not divided seems like a little bit of a creepy way to do it. If you think Australia Day is bad, you're wrong, because we're one and you're free, even though 28% the prison population is made up of Indigenous people.
Yep. And then the reaction against changing the date. No. But then changing a word in a song. Oh, yes, absolutely.
That's fine. Yes. That symbolic change is fine because it costs literally nothing. Yeah, that's a bummer. And I assume, is Australia Day going to be all about thanking the frontline workers? Is it a big thank you day? Is that what we're doing?
Well, Sydney's, as far as I know, cancelled everything pretty much because of all our little outbreaks. So I'm not sure.
Is Norman Swan going to be Australian of the Year? Is that what's going to happen?
Oh, good question. I don't know. Who would be your tip for Australian of the Year? I can't even think. The get off my lawn guy who shouted at ScoMo.
Yes, actually. He's a modern day working class hero. The guy who tweeted Dan Murphy opening hours, whoever that was.
Oh, Peter Doherty, yep.
Peter Doherty, that was really good.
Hasn't he already been Australian of the Year, or am I thinking of someone else?
Give it to him again. Go around again.
Perfect. Yeah. Before we go, 2021, is everything just on hold this year? Have you got any gigs or tours coming up, or are you just going to be writing? What's anything to plug for this year, or is everything kind of on hold as it was last year?
It's still very TVC. My plan at this stage is to still do a show at the Adelaide Fringe Festival and the Melbourne Comedy Festival, whatever forms they may take.
Is Melbourne definitely back? We don't know yet. Who knows?
It's happening. It's a very fluid registration process. I don't know where it is. We haven't announced that, but it's
on
around.
Zoom and.
Oh no!
No, I hope not.
Gigs are happening around the place, and gigs are happening. So wherever you can, get out there and support your local comedians, please. They desperately need your laughter and your money.
Brilliant. Thanks, Tom. And hopefully Sydney will open up again to live comedy soon, and we'll have some things on up here, and we'll see you up here. Brilliant. Thanks again. Happy New Year.
Thanks, Dill. Happy New Year, everybody. Yay.